Guys, I'm back. I finished the exam. Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for being here. So I have not posted a video in forever, but I was in nursing school and I finally graduated nursing school and I was able to pass the dreadful NCLEX exam in 75 questions. So I'm going to go ahead and make this video about how I passed the NCLEX, the time frame that I used to pass my NCLEX. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So I graduated in May of 2019 and I took almost an entire month off. Nursing school was very stressful, so I needed the time off for me and my family. So I started studying May 29th. I went ahead and I purchased UWORLD on May 29th. I made myself a schedule because I know if I didn't make myself a schedule, I wasn't going to stick to the schedule. So I suggest you make a schedule just so you have something to reference to and to know that you're basically on a time limit. I had not got my ATT to test yet, so I didn't want to wait to get my ATT because as soon as I got my ATT, I wanted to already be prepared to schedule the following day after I got my ATT. So I decided to start studying before I even got my ATT. So that was on May 29th. The way that I separated my study sessions was UWorld had a bank of 2,100 and something questions. So I got that amount and I wanted to study for 30 days or roughly 30 days. So I divided that amount by 30 days and it gave me that I had to do 71 questions a day. I did not include Saturday and Sunday, I only included Monday through Friday. So I didn't go out and buy a beautiful calendar, I just got a piece of paper and I made the schedule. So basically, I had to do, like I said, 71 questions a day, and the way that I separated mine, instead of doing random 71 questions every single day, I wanted to learn it by system. Well, not by system, by category. So they had category for adult health, fundies, child health, maternity, mental health, pharmacology, and leadership. So I divided the amount of questions that they had for adult health between 71, and that gave me that I had to do adult health for 10 days, and so on and so on. I divided the amount that each category of questions had by 71, and that was the amount of days that I had to do questions for. So I would sit down at the beginning, you know, I was super, like I was even used, like with the permanent marker. This was me, like every single day sitting down, and I would write the rationales to everything. Why I got it right or why I didn't get it right, or you know what I thought or what I understood, and that was helpful to me. Not because I necessarily went back and read the notes, because the way that I learn by writing and reading it kind of sticks even more. So that's mainly why I did it. So I wrote a lot of rationales. I didn't do all of them because it can get annoying and your hand cramps, and I did for the for the majority of the time, and I would do like one day on, one day off, one day on, one day off, just because it can be a drag to write down every single rationale. But the things that I really didn't understand or were completely new to me, or I felt that were really important, I would write them down, not go back and read it, just write it down because it sticks more in my brain. I did have this because when we graduated from our nursing program, our school did provide us with the HURST 3-day live review, and this was very beneficial. The instructor that we had was amazing. I would recommend the review. Would I recommend that you go out and purchase it for the $500 and somewhat dollars? I personally didn't have that type of money coming out of nursing school, so I wouldn't have, but the review was very beneficial. It wasn't a review that you basically had to, you know, memorize things that they already told you had to memorize in school. They broke it down in a very, very simple way to the point where you're like, wow, this makes so much more sense. So that's what I really enjoyed about this review. But my favorite thing about this review was that this also came with an online membership, I would say. And it brought roughly around 1,000 questions. And the thing that was my favorite was that it brought 4 simulator tests. So a simulator test is what HURST, in their opinion, mimics the NCLEX the most. So we had 4 of those. We had to score above a 77, And if we scored above a 77, that it says that you were, that the system was recognizing that you had a high chance of passing the NCLEX. So I really enjoyed that about this system. I also have this book that I personally did not use for my NCLEX. I used this during nursing school. There's so much information that you're learning from UWorld or any program that you decide to get, that it can just be a lot. It can be extremely overwhelming, and right now is not the time to overwhelm yourself. During nursing school, okay, but during one of the most important tests in your life, it is not the time to overwhelm yourself. So this book, it's very, very beneficial. It's great at summarizing, but I don't want to say waste time, because it wouldn't be a waste of time to read it. It was just a lot. It was a lot of questions during the day, and you still have life that gets in the way. I feel like I didn't have the time to go back and read this, and the more every single day that I would try, I just would get kind of bored and annoyed, so I decided to not use this. But this book I personally used throughout nursing school, and it was awesome. I downloaded the UWorld app on my phone, and even if I didn't sit down in my room or on my desk and religiously practice the questions and have my only focus on the questions, I would, even if I was at the doctor's appointment, at the grocery store, in a red light, I would take out my phone and do some questions, because it's kind of like the muscle memory. Your body gets used to picking up little cues, and even if you don't realize it, even if it doesn't have your undivided attention, you're gonna learn something. So I was able to get through the entire calendar, but I didn't finish. Here it says I was supposed to finish by the 16th of July, and that wasn't the case, because I kind of slowed down. One day I would do them, one day I wouldn't do them, but I made sure I focused on them, and for the most part I did stick to the schedule. I went ahead and got my ATT to test on July 8th, so I went ahead and scheduled my exam for July 23rd. July 8th, I still had about 600 UWorld questions to go, because like I said, I started getting lazy and I hadn't gotten my ATT yet, and it was kind of like, oh, I have more time, I have more time, I have more time. So it's hard to kind of stick to a calendar when you don't have a test date, but I knew I had to do it. So July 8th, I scheduled my exam for July 23rd, and July 8th, I had about 600, 500 UWorld questions to go. So I had 2 weeks till my NCLEX. So I was like, all right, this is crunch time. So in 1 week, I finished all 600 questions. I would do about 125, to 150 questions a day. And that was kind of like, I was just trying to kind of move quick. I wasn't writing down anything at this point, because I knew I had to move on and get to where I needed to get, because now I was running out of time. So that was 2 weeks prior. I finished all the UWorld questions, and then I was like, oh, you know what, I want to go back and do all the ones that I got wrong. But I felt that I was just memorizing the answer, and it wasn't really teaching me anything. So I stopped doing that, and then I went back to the HURST membership or subscription that I had, and I mentioned about the 4 simulator tests. So the last week before my NCLEX, I took the 4 simulator tests: Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. So then Saturday came around. I took the UWorld assessment test, because I got the subscription for 60 days with 1 assessment test, and I got a very highly likely to pass. I think that's what it is. So at this point I was stoked, but I didn't want to get overconfident, so I was still really nervous. So Sunday and Monday, I absolutely did nothing. It sounds scary to not pick up a notebook or to not pick up your notes, but don't do it. Just try your hardest. Your little fingers are gonna just want to grab it, but just don't do it. Relax. Like I said, I had done so many questions the week before UWorld that I was so overwhelmed that I was answering the questions wrong, not because I didn't know the information. I was just so annoyed of looking at questions. So Sunday and Monday came around. I did not look at any notes. I spent time with my family. Monday I went ahead and I did my nails, I did my hair. My test was Tuesday at 2 p.m. That morning I had breakfast with a friend, didn't read any notes, didn't look at it, because I didn't want anything to cloud my brain, cloud my judgment. So I went ahead, I had breakfast. My testing center was about an hour away from my house. So I went to have breakfast, and at about 10, I had to be there at 2. At about 10 or 11, I drove straight over there because I didn't want anything to happen. I didn't want to be late. I didn't want anything to mess up this day because I needed to be perfect. So I got there at about 1, and I'm going to go ahead and insert a clip of my exam, before my exam and after my exam here. So I am sitting outside of the building to take my NCLEX, and I thought it would be cool to kind of vlog the entire experience to then later make a video of how I studied. You know, hopefully I pass. But if I do pass, I will let you guys know. And if I don't pass, I will let you guys know, because maybe what I did didn't work or what I did work. So I'm super duper nervous, but I'm prepared. I studied, I used UWORLD, I used HURST, I took all my assessment tests, and I got a, like very highly likely to pass, or whatever it is, that the words that they use, but it was like the highest one. So I'm here about 1 hour early. I'm just sitting in my car, and I'm just gonna try to relax maybe for the next 30 minutes or so. I need to calm my nerves because I know the information. The information is there. I mean, I passed nursing school, I passed the HESI, so the information is there. It's just, I just kind of have to put it all together and get rid of my anxiety to be able to apply the information. So I'm going to do some deep breathing exercises. I think I'm going to yell at the top of my lungs. Maybe that's going to help me with my anxiety. I don't know. I'm going to do something. And I'm going to go inside. I'm going to use the bathroom. I just want to get there early so there's nothing holding me back. And just pray for the best. At this point, what I don't know, I don't know. And what I do know, I do know. And hopefully what I know, it's enough. I'm going to come back as soon as I'm done taking the test. And I'll let you guys know how that went. Alright? See you later. Bye. Guys, I'm back. I finished the exam. I don't know, either went really well or it went really bad. I don't know. I mean, I didn't find the questions to be that difficult. Out of my test stopped at 75 questions. Out of 75 questions, I even like tagged them in the top of the little board that they give you. I had 25 select all that apply. I had 1 drag and drop. I had 1 with exhibit. I didn't have any like hotspot questions. I didn't have any of those. I was myself, but I feel pretty confident. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna do the Pearson trick right now. And guys, I got the good message. So this message maybe means that I passed my NCLEX, and if I did, oh my god, I am the happiest human being alive. So I mean, this really wasn't as bad as a lot of people said it was going to be, but then again, I studied. I did study. I did very well through nursing school. I studied all through nursing school. I studied for maybe like a month and a half, almost 2 months before this exam. So honestly, I'm pretty happy right now. I really hope I get the good results that I want, because maybe, you don't know, I got to 75 and I failed the test. Like you saw in the video, I was very nervous before, but after then I felt kind of confident. I didn't feel that it was that bad, but again, I didn't want to get overly confident because I was still nervous. So I did the Pearson trick and I did get the good message, so I was happy. So honestly, at this point, it was just a waiting game. And then the following morning, 8 a.m., I got my test scores that I had passed, so I felt amazing. And thank you so much for watching. I really hope that if you're testing for your NCLEX soon, just try your hardest and you made it through nursing school, so you can go ahead and make it through this test.